You are now tuned into the People Before Politics radio show, brought to you by the good folks at
Black Westchester, Black Westchester, Black Westchester, Black Westchester. Check the newspaper. Black Westchester, Black Westchester, Black Westchester. Check the newspaper.
Real talk for the community since 2014. Welcome. You're tuned into Black Westchester, a special edition of Black Westchester in collaboration with Race Talk Revolution. I have my co-host, Reverend Lane Cobb, in the place to be from the Race Talk Revolution podcast. And today we will be interviewing Wil B from Black Violin. Before I do, let me pay some bills real quick.
It's going down Saturday, November 12th. Doug B Productions and Billy Rajan presents A Night of Elegance with a live performance by Intro. A Night of Elegance starring Intro. Intro live at the Coliseum, Saturday, November 12th. A Night of Elegance, starring Intro. This is an event you don't want to miss. With music provided by DJ Chris Love, DJ Kid New, and DJ Kool-Aid. Live and direct at the Coliseum, 15 South Broadway in White Plains, New York. For tickets and information, call 914-403-8376 or 914-874-9415. Intro at the Coliseum, Saturday, November 12th. We are the soul of New York, 108 Soul.
And one of the things we will be talking about with Wil B is their upcoming holiday tour. Let me play the promo real quick for that. There we go. Now I'm going to pass the mic to Lane Cobb and let her do the intro for our today's guest.
Why, certainly. And it's a very extensive bio, so hang on. I just want to say these guys have been busy. For 17 years, Black Violin has been merging string arrangements with modern beats and vocals and building bridges and communities along the way. Members Kev Marcus and Will Baptiste first met in orchestra class at Dillard High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, becoming classically trained on the violin and viola through their high school and college careers. Post-college, they reconvened to produce beats for South Florida rappers and began building an audience in local clubs. They later went on to win Showtime at the Apollo in 2005 and eventually sold out headline performances at venues across the country, including a sold-out two-night headline run at the Kennedy Center in 2018. Now, all right now. NPR took note and declared their music will keep classical music alive for the next generation. Black Violin's latest release, Take the Stairs, earned a Grammy Award nomination for Best Contemporary Instrumental Album. In 2019, the group launched the Black Violin Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering youth by providing access to quality music programs in their community. The Black Violin Foundation believes that music and access to music programs should not be determined by race, gender, or social economic class. Black Violin's Foundation's inaugural program, the Musical Innovation Grant for Continuing Education, will provide scholarships to young music students to attend a program of their liking that fosters musical creativity and innovation. And for more information, you can tune into www.blackviolin.net or www.blackviolinfoundation.org. blackquesthip.org and just welcome Wil B. So pleased to have you and can't wait for that show in Stamford.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Thanks
Welcome
for
to
having
the
me.
show. Welcome to the show, my brother. So, for those that have been living under the rock, for those who do not know, what and who is Black Violin? Just break it down. What it is y'all doing?
Black Violin is composed of two black dudes from South Florida, man. We, grew up playing classical music, went through high school and went to college, got full scholarship, full ride to college, playing this instrument. And hip hop was always something that was in us. It was something that was, I just remember just playing the instrument. And every little time we had to express ourselves, we would take these instruments and express ourselves with this instrument, which was unheard of back then. And I credit a lot of that to hip hop, because hip hop is about, being yourself, being creative, and going against the grain, so to speak. So we did just that, and being from South Florida, where classical music was kind of fading away a little bit, particularly during September 11th. So, we had to really figure out a way, you know what I'm saying? So you got these two brothers that understand classical music, understand this world, that wanted to take these instruments and do something completely different with it that's never been done. We wanted to take the violin, viola, and put it in the forefront instead of in the background, because a lot of times you hear hip hop or any music that's popular, the violin is kind of in the background, it's in the shadow. So we wanted to bring these instruments in the forefront. So with that idea, with that concept, man, we just started really performing. We would literally, back in the days, if Allen Iverson was having a birthday party in South Beach, we would go up to the club and say, "Listen, we want to perform at this party," and the club manager would just kind of shove us away. We would go to the trunk, pull out the violins, and turn on the radio and play on top of the music, and that would kind of convince them, like, "Oh, this is kind of dope." You know what I mean? So we would literally try to convince people of the idea of classical instruments on hip hop. So and we're still for the most part, I think, in a lot of ways, trying to prove that as well. So that's the gist of it, man. And right now it's the 2022. We've been doing this for probably longer than 17 years. And we love it. And a huge part of what we do right now is foundation and giving kids access not only to this instrument, but giving them access to just the idea of dreaming. You know what I mean? So
A lot of people don't realize how important live instrumentation is. And I give you an example. Dr. Dre, from the West Coast, Dr. Dre, the producer, if you listen to a lot of rap records back in the days and you had an equalizer that lights up, it might do something like this. If you listen to a Kenny G album, it'd be dancing the whole equalizer. If you listen to a Dr. Dre produced record, it does the same thing. And the reason why he didn't just sample, he would actually have musicians come in and replay. You know what I'm saying? They gave you like that
right.
quality. His sound was just on a whole nother level on top of being dope, on top of that. So, talk about the importance. I want to talk about the importance of, they cut a lot of our music classes out of school. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the art and music is one of the first things. And I know I read an article from Kenny G a long time ago where he said music actually saved his life. Like, I guess he was bored in school. It was the music that kept him coming back to school. So, talk about how important that is for us, having music in our schools and young people learning instruments.
I mean, it's very important. You know what I mean? Like, I can speak for us. You know what I mean? How this instrument has really transformed us, not only as musicians but as people. You know what I mean? When kids have a dream, like a lot of times as kids, especially when kids growing up in the hood, I mean, it's just like you want to be able to go somewhere and escape, right? You want to be able to go somewhere and just feel like you can really, really express yourself. And this instrument did just that for us. You know what I mean? It was a way for us to feel like we were doing something, and honestly kept us away from just doing other things that we had no business doing. So and in a lot of ways, yeah, the instrument definitely saved our lives as well. So it's just, man, it's just really, really crucial to look at instruments and look at the arts in the school, particularly, instruments in the school in a way that you look at football or sports in the school, because it's so crucial, so necessary. It just allows the kids to just really, free themselves from this confinement that they've been in, and music did just that, and the instrument did that, and that's why we're such a huge advocate of it. You know what I mean? Like for us, we understand the importance of it, and it works. You know, it worked for us. You know, and it can work for any child, and that's why we, you know, not only in our community but communities abroad in this country and anywhere, honestly, we try to really advocate for the idea of you can't cut these programs, so they're just crucial, necessary.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lane, do you have any questions? I want to.
No, I'm happy to listen. I'm just so pleased about the foundation. I know you discussed that was something very special and close to your heart. You all have been giving back the entire time that you've been building yourselves up. You've been giving back in your community. I'm wondering, you know, what you're most proud of and what you enjoy the most about what you do.
That's probably one of the most things I enjoy about what we do. You know, like we will go in a lot of times in our own community, like right here in South Florida, we would go to a middle school or elementary school, and you know, the principal would basically just have everybody in the auditorium or sometimes in the cafeteria, and they don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? They just know that, oh, they have an assembly, and we come in, and the kids are just kind of like, oh my God, look at this, just the way that we look. You know what I mean? Like you got the violin, and you got two black dudes. And we're not wearing tuxes. We look just like them. So it's like that in itself just does something psychologically to the kids, you know? And then we start playing hip hop, some certain songs that they like, and we play the violin on top of it, and the kids just go crazy. They go crazy. And for that moment, we have their attention, and you can see their eyes, how much they've you know, their faces lit up so much when they see that. And for that moment, we got their attention. We try to, you know, we plant seeds. Right, so we tell them, listen, the thing that we're doing right now, we just did it with the violin, but you can do it with anything else. And the message that we preach is, it's, you know, the vehicle that we use is the violin, but you can use anything. It doesn't matter what it is you love doing. Approach it in a way that no one's ever approached it, and think outside the box when it comes to it, and use that thing to change the world. You know, so that's one of the messages that we preach, and that's the most satisfying thing about what we do is how we impact kids, and not only just kids, adults, you know what I mean? Because we've done so many shows that people come up to us and tell us, listen, man, I was incarcerated, I was in jail, your music, you know, helped me make it through. So it's definitely a gratifying thing to really, to hear that, especially when you do something that you love and something that it's not work for me when I play, you know what I mean? So it's definitely rewarding.
I was going to say that you all look like you're having a doggone good old time up on that stage, which I think is great. And I love the Dreamer shirt. You know, kids really do need to use their imagination, right? So much has gone now from the imagination with all the technology and everything, doing things for kids. They don't need to think. And, you know, a lot of them have lost that ability to think bigger than what they see in front of them. So you are really setting a great example. I know we have another musical clip. I'm just interested to hear what we're gonna what kind of music are you going to be playing on the Give Thanks tour? Is that a holiday musical tour? What are we going to hear?
Well, you're going to hear a lot of songs from our 2020 album, which is Give. It's a Give Thanks tour album. Give Thanks. And this album is really special to us because, you know, we created this album during the pandemic. You know, a lot of us were just sitting at home, had nothing to do. And, you know, we really started thinking about ourselves as artists and as people. And we wanted to bring something that would kind of just make people feel good year round. Because it's a holiday album, but I feel like it's an album that you can listen to year round. And you're going to hear a majority of that album during the concert. But also we're going to play some classic Black Violin records, you know, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of those concerts. Our concerts is something that literally anybody can come to. You can bring a little 5-year-old, bring your grandmother, grandfather, you know, anyone is able to come to this concert and enjoy themselves. And a lot of the album we're going to play on this show. And it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun. I mean, for me, I don't listen to my own albums after we've created it. But this particular album, I listen to it all the time. My kids love it, so it's a lot of fun.
Now, when I think, and it just might be me, when I think of South Florida, I think of Lil Trick Daddy and Trina. Who were your musical influences? You know what I'm saying? You know, because I'm sure that's a lot of what you heard. You know what I'm saying? That and that style of music, but what you do is so far removed from that. So who were your musical influences?
Definitely, like Trick Daddy was huge. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
yes,
Like
yes.
I was a kid listening to Trick Daddy. That was, you know, you had, like, for me, being from South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, you had no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
Trick Daddy was huge. I listened to Trey. I listened to No Limit back in the days.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had this string program, this orchestra class that I had to go to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
two completely different worlds. But I was hip hop before I picked up the instrument. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so natural for us to put the two worlds together, because we are both of these things at the same time. And as I got into the instrument, my ears started changing. So I started listening to a lot of old school records, the whole Motown era I love, and like George Benson. George Benson is one of those, you know, musicians and artists that I just absolutely love the way that he plays guitar and sing. And I remember when I used to do that with my viola, my teacher used to just be confused why am I plucking my viola the way that I do. It's because I was imitating George Benson, you know. So and that's the thing, you know, we've always done stuff like that because it just felt right. It felt right for me to pluck it that way, you know. And I always say this, man. I credit hip hop for that, because hip hop is like that, you know, that kid that's right there that everybody wants to control and contain, and hip hop's like, nah, we're gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it my way. You know what I mean? So that's what we did, you know, regardless of how this instrument or this genre is perceived. You know, we're gonna just do it our way, do it what we want to do it. So and a lot of our influences are artists that took that and took the mold and really took it to the next level, you know.
Right. And that's the essence of hip hop, actually taking elements from everything else and making it ourselves, making it our own, and then, you know, doing something different with it. I mean, because to be like everybody, there's a lot of people who hip hop and may play the violin, but everyone can't blend those things together effortlessly. You understand? Like I've seen a lot who tried, and I've seen some that were successful and some who weren't. You know what I mean? But everyone can't do that. I mean, with an instrument, period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A classical type of instrument that is not known for hip hop. You know, so I applaud you on what you're doing. I do want to show. I do have a video of. I think it's Joy to the World. We're going to play that real quick and have you talk about it on the other end of it.
Okay.
And you know, what I really applaud y'all. You know, a lot of people when they get into hip hop, they get into beat machines and stuff like that. You know, they don't understand live instrumentation. Again, going back to Dr. Dre, he's also a musician, and that's what makes him such a great producer. Understanding how the music goes together and stuff like that. So, yeah, I applaud y'all. Is this
AJ,
from
let's
your
just
album?
folks, hold on a second. Let's just tell folks where they can see these guys play, and we'll do it again. But I just want to make sure
No,
people
take care of that. Yeah.
get to say Black Violin Give Thanks Holiday Tour locally here near Westchester. They're going to be on Friday, November 11th. That is this Friday at 8 p.m. at the Palace Theater at 61 Atlantic Street in Stamford, Connecticut. And you can go to palacestamford.org for tickets or call the box office at 203-325-4466. I just wanted to make sure we said that often, early and often.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we need to put that in the chat too, so everybody can see it. Where else will y'all be playing? Where's this tour going? Where y'all? Is it national, international? What is it? Where y'all going?
It's just national. I think the first one is in Jersey, Rahway, Jersey, and
Okay.
kind
Saw
of
that too,
stays in the Northeast, and you know we go in the South a little bit. We're in Florida. We're in Jacksonville. I think we're in Tampa, and then we end the show in West Palm Beach, which is like close to home for us. And we're also in Baltimore, I think. And I don't know exactly all the dates, but check out blackviolin.net, the website, and check the dates out. But yeah, we're pretty much doing kind of like the Northeast, South, area.
So I have a question. You did talk about this a little bit. Talk about, if you can, a little bit about the importance of challenging stereotypes, because you really do that.
Yeah, I think it's important because, again, I think a lot of times society puts us in these confinement, these boxes, and it's important for us, particularly musicians and artists like us, who the idea of us picking up this violin is just like there's not a lot of us doing it. It's important that we, break the stereotypes. It's important that we stand firm on who we are. You know what I mean? So young kids that are seeing us can see themselves not only doing what we're doing, but then they can, their imagination and the idea that I can do and be anything triggers inside of them. So I think it's just important that we continue to challenge all these, stereotypes that that has kept us kind of confined for so many years.
And so what were some of the personal challenges that you encountered coming up doing this?
I think some of the challenges was just convincing people that this thing was dope. You know what I mean? Convincing that we belong in this space. Because I think playing the classical instrument and being in that space, it can be difficult. I think one of the main reasons why we started just freestyling, playing on top of beats, it was almost really a defensive mechanism. It was almost like, okay, I'm gonna do this regardless of what you think. I'm gonna do this regardless of how you think I should do it. You know what I mean? And I think the challenge was always not only trying to convince people that have never heard it before, but trying to convince. I don't necessarily for us, we don't necessarily try to convince anybody that we're dope. I think one of the things that I think is appealing to us is that we come on stage, we perform, we're playing, and we literally don't care if you like it or not. This is who we are, and that's it. I think some of the challenges growing up and playing this instrument, it's always kind of been, it was always limiting in terms of like what we wanted to do, and again, representation was a huge. It just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like for us, we didn't see a lot of black kids, black people really playing the instrument, so we didn't necessarily had that, and that's one of the reasons why we perform so many so many kids, because we want the kids to really see that, man, you can do this. You know what I'm saying? There's other things, there's other places, there's other things that you can do besides just the typical basketball or whatever. So I think the challenges has always been trying to convince people that this concept and this idea, this sound is dope.
Yeah, you're modeling a positive racial identity for kids, which is fabulous. Gatekeeping, for musicians of color, gatekeeping in particular communities, the classical music community is real, So just thank you for challenging that and for modeling what's possible.
If you could play with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Who? Just one?
Just your list, your wish list, your.
Okay, yeah, for sure. The first person that come to mind is Curtis Mayfield.
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to just be in a session with him. Stevie Wonder, of course. I mean, my goodness, Stevie Wonder. Ray Charles, I think, comes to mind. I think Ray Charles is he's not necessarily underrated as a musician. I think he's underrated in terms of his diversity, how he's able to just do so much. I don't think people realize that. So like Ray Charles, current artists now, Kendrick, J. Cole for sure. These artists I think kind of represent what we represent. And I think collaborations is something that we always kind of been very, very hesitant. Even though we've collaborated with a lot of people, we want to make sure that it's in line with what it is that we're trying to do at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, it's a long list, man. Outkast, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I would love to get Outkast in a studio, and all the greats, man. Like, I listen to a lot of old music because sonically it does something to me that, what I mean, when you listen to an Otis Redding record and the way that he sing, you know what I'm saying, with that passion, like you can't get it nowhere else. I mean, and it's funny too, like I talk about songs from him all the time because if you put his sound and his music in a box, in your mind you're going to be like, oh, he is singing out of tune. Like he's pitchy when he sings. He's not pitchy. It's just the emotions and the feeling that he sings. It's just it's almost a character in his songs. You know what I mean? The way that he sings with that emotion. You know what I mean? So I just love it. You know what I mean? Like for me, I love it, and even the way that I record right now, I record my own music. I try to keep it very, very simple and organic. You can hear every single instrument that is being played on this record. So man, the list is long.
I would love to see you in the studio with Andre 3000 and see what y'all came up with. Oh my goodness! And I could definitely see both Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole rapping to what y'all doing, and y'all just creating a whole nother thing. Like y'all just something that's a powerful thing for the moment, like for the movement. Like that, I could see that. I can definitely see that. That would be powerful. Lane.
Oh, I was just wondering if we had any more clips. I just want to let people know there's lots of clips on YouTube of Black Violin, and well worth the look. And hopefully you guys will be able to make a show, at least one. Go to, what did you say now, Will? Is it blackviolin.net?
That's the website, and also the foundation website, blackviolinfoundation.org. But if you want to get any tickets and any information about the show, blackviolin.net is the website. And yeah.
All right. And Black Violin Give Thanks Holiday Tour, Friday, November 11th in Stamford, Connecticut at the Palace Theater, 61 Atlantic Street in Stamford, palacestanford.org. Yes, that's going to be tremendous. I just want to say that there is something so inspiring about watching you guys play. There is something very, very inspiring, and for me, invokes a lot of emotion because I know that music is such a huge part of our community, and that pushing the boundaries is important, but it's also difficult. And so your commitment shows, your joy shows, and you invite people to connect with their joy through your playing. So I just wanted to say that that's what I see when I see you guys playing. So just hopefully we'll have an opportunity to invite you back here, and maybe Kev can come with you then as well. And anything that you want to say as well, please. What else would you like our audience to know about you or your foundation? And how can we give to your foundation, maybe even?
Well, right. Yeah, the foundation, like I said, you can go to blackviolinfoundation.org. The foundation is the premise of it is simply it's almost an extension of what we already do, right? And for us, it's about access. It's about because growing up, we had a lot of individuals that were very influential in our lives that kind of helped us to get to the next level. I remember our teacher, James Miles. I remember he drove all the way up to West Virginia from South Florida to pick us up from a music camp because we didn't have a ride back home. He bought me my first like real instrument, you know. So we had a lot of these individuals that were really instrumental in getting us to the next level. And for us, you know, we want to be able to provide that for other kids, you know, because we understand how it feels. And the key to that is when a child has a dream, when they want to do something and they don't have that one little thing, you know what I'm saying? That one thing would prevent them from even imagining even further. So we don't want any child to feel that way. So our foundation focuses on not only instruments, like giving out instruments and really good instruments. We partner up with the Black Violin shop up in Cincinnati, Ohio, that help us provide really nice instruments to kids that don't have access to instruments. But also we want to be able to financially help a child that wants to go to a music camp. You know, if you want to go to a music camp in Boston or whatever, and you need funds to be able to do that, plane ticket, we provide that as well. So for us, it's just access, man. And again, you see the Dreamer shirt. We want to be able to allow kids to not, you know, take away that dream that they have, you know. And I think for us, that could have easily happened to us, but we had people that were there that helped us along the way, and we want to be that, you know.
Yeah,
that is so important. The dreaming thing, and a lot of our inner cities, a lot of our youth are. They've lost that at an early age. They've lost that. I don't want to say ability to dream. They lost that aspiration. They, you know, I when I stayed in Harlem, I lived right down the street from the projects, and this woman used to walk down the street every morning with her 3, 4, 5-year-old kid. And every day she said, "You ain't shit, just like your father ain't shit. You ain't never going to be shit." By the time that kid is like 6 or 7 years old, that's what he thinks. And he never has no aspiration of doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he heard all his life. You know what I mean? So, and then you see, you know, the situations in the cities, and, you know, there's not a lot of youth programs and stuff, and crime and violence and all that. And you kind of you can't see yourself being anything other than that. So that's what's so important. I was blessed that I grew up in Mount Vernon, but my parents moved me out to Suffolk County, Long Island. And out there, I got in organizations that took me like to dude ranches and mountain climbing and stuff, like exposed me to stuff that I never would have did in the hood. Like I was just like, I got to see so much other stuff that, you know, broadens your horizon. And then music, I was in music. Music took me around the world as a performer, and you get to see, you know, a whole nother. So there's so many people that don't leave their city, and that's all they see. So, you know, I applaud y'all for giving back to the youth. We need much more of that. That is very important for the future generations.
Absolutely.
Anything we haven't asked you that you want people to know?
I think you guys covered everything, man. This was a really, really great conversation. I appreciate it.
One more time, website, social media. How can people follow y'all? Where can they find your music? Where can they buy your album? Your music.
Right. Blackviolin.net is the website. We have all the ticket information. We're sitting near you. In terms of social media, Instagram at Black Violin, Twitter at Black Violin, Facebook, Black Violin Music. So yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever, every platform. We're on every platform.
So glad to have this opportunity to talk with you all.
Let's see, one of our views at What's Good Family. I will be sharing this wonderful podcast on my Yonkers News update page. Okay.
Excellent.
One more time, I'm going to play that the promo for the show again. It's a shorter one. It's the 15-second one. Do you have like previous live performances or clips of them on YouTube? You have a YouTube page that has like any clips of
Yeah,
old live performances? Yeah.
yeah.
People,
We
people,
have we have
yeah,
tons
we
of that.
definitely,
We have a YouTube page as well. Black Violin. Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Lane, let everybody know what the concert is. What's the date, the time, the place?
That Give Thanks tour is this Friday, the 11th at 8 p.m. in Stamford, Connecticut at the Palace Theater, 61 Atlantic Street in Stamford. You can go to palacestamford.org for tickets or call the box office at 203-325-4466 or go to blackviolin.net for more
Okay.
information.
My brother, thank you. I mean, I could talk to you for hours, but thank you for your time. I try to be appreciative of people's time. Thank you for your time. Good luck at the show. I look forward to seeing where else you'll take this. And feel free to reach out to us anytime you want to, get something out. You want to, anything you want to say or
Yeah,
anything,
please,
yes.
please
Thank
do
you very
Thank you,
that.
much.
man. I appreciate it.
No
Congratulations
doubt,
Thank you,
no
on
guys.
the
doubt,
foundation.
Thank you. I
no
appreciate you
doubt, no
guys.
doubt. Absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to pay our bills real quick before the end of the show.
It's going down Saturday, November 12th. Doug B Productions and Billy Rajan presents A Night of Elegance with a live performance by Intro. A Night of Elegance starring Intro. Intro live at the Coliseum, Saturday, November 12th. A Night of Elegance, starring Intro. This is an event you don't want to miss. With music provided by DJ Chris Love, DJ Kid New, and DJ Kool-Aid. Live and direct at the Coliseum, 15 South Broadway in White Plains, New York. For tickets and information, call 914-403-8376 or 914-874-9415. Intro at the Coliseum, Saturday, November 12th. We are the soul of New York, 108 Soul.
This has been a joint collaboration between Black Westchester and Race Talk Revolution. We did an interview with the Black Violin, Wil B from the Black Violin. And for all of y'all, he has a tour coming up, a show this Friday. And for those who weren't tuned in the beginning, I'm just going to play the promo one more time for the show. Yes, yes, yes. And make sure we're our normal scheduled time are Sundays, People Before Politics show, Sundays 6 to 8, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And Lane Cobb has Race Talk Revolution. It's on Wednesday. What is it, 11?
It is
11,
12 to 1:30 Eastern. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Great
And
conversation. Great. Yeah, if you've never seen Race Talk Revolution, you go to Black Westchester. We have previous shows. I co-host sometimes. We have some previous shows on there. They have great conversation. I'm glad to be a part of it when she allows me to be a part of it. And you have other things, but are you still doing the other thing, the workshop thing, or that's over?
Which workshop are you talking about? Are you talking about Lynn Goodman's anti-Semitism and extremism panel? That's on Thursday night at 7. That's the Greenberg Library is hosting that.
Okay,
So that is
okay.
online, and you can get there through the Greenberg Library. And Race Talk Revolution is going to happen this Wednesday. If you'd like to tune into that, just go to our YouTube channel, and you can get or my Facebook page at Race Talk Revolution, and the link is there. We do stream live on Facebook, and we will be interviewing people from the People's Institute for Survival and Beyond, Undoing Racism workshop leaders, talking about the importance of developing a unified anti-racist coalition. So there you go.
this woman is the bomb.com. Y'all need to know who she is. Definitely, absolutely. With that, I think that is it. Make sure. Oh, I have what is the next thing I'm doing? December 3rd. December 3rd, I have a book signing at a black comic book store in Mount Vernon. Mrs. Hulk, Miss Hulk for Life Comics, black-owned comic book store. I'm going to be there all day from like 12 to 6. Just come through, pick up your book, get it signed, get some comic books, the whole nine. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm also going to be speaking. I don't have a date yet. Damon and I were just invited to speak at Manhattanville College to their journalism class. I just said yes. I'm waiting for a date for that. I just spoke at Pace University to their journalism class. Shout out to Lisa Reyes for inviting me to that. That was beautiful. And of course, you can get my book, Black Westchester, The Origin Story. It's on Amazon. Yeah. So find out how it all got started. With that, that's it for us. Till next time, this has been a special collaboration between Black Westchester and Race Talk Revolution. Make sure you tune in Wednesday to Race Talk Revolution.
Thanks
Peace.
for including me.
You are now tuned into the People Before Politics radio show, brought to you by the good folks at
Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Check the newspaper. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Check the newspaper.
Real talk for the community since 2014.